Jeselnick, like the one or two
Boiz, number one.
Out of the
Yeah,
number one
he's
Legendary
good.
Comedy Podcast.
I've seen him live a couple times. I really liked him, and then like the last
Back on the
years,
Boiz.
Yeah, I mean he's a great joke writer, but he's been like going after like the Rogan sphere comics
yeah,
and like the Kill Tonys and all that, and saying, which I don't watch any of them either. I don't think that many of them are funny, but. What really pissed me off was when he was going after the Legion of Skanks guys, and like he tweeted some article about how they're like neo-Nazis.
yeah,
and they're like,
they're not.
yeah.
That's what really drew the line for me when I finally.
I
was
didn't
like,
even know
fuck
he
this
did
guy.
that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, and then he got called out. Like all the fans, like don't fuck with Legion of Skanks fans.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking find where you live and like destroy your house.
Yeah.
So and then he issues this apology where he's like, I was just kind of joking about that. Blah blah blah. It's like, no, you fucking weren't, dude.
The latest thing I heard about Jeselnick was Tim Dillon called him out.
Yeah, that was for the same thing, for the
Yeah.
Legion of Skanks
It was
thing.
all
Tim
kind of in the
Dillon's
same
friends with all
vein.
those guys, and he goes on their show a lot.
Yeah.
I got it. Tim Dillon's one of my dogs right now.
He's your best friend.
I love Tim.
Huge app of the P-Boys today. Special guest, Kenneth Wood. Ken Wood.
Bow, 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 bow.
You know him from, I don't know, you've been on stuff on here.
Yeah.
You might know him from the New Way Bar.
Yeah.
The New Way Bar.
I got a Ham's bar this.
He's got a
Hell yeah.
You got a Hams Bar. You also, might,
Yeah,
know,
beer.
you
Yeah.
also might know him from the
I'm
independent bathrooms.
Occasionally.
Hey,
oh,
let's see.
hey, let's keep that down.
Sometimes he goes to the
Yeah, sometimes
bathroom.
he goes-
I go to the bathroom at the
At the
independent.
Dude, last night,
Close, okay.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, dude.
last night,
We all
Polly
have
had
our
that as a
animalistic
bit.
needs.
He was at Roadhouse and he did that as a bit.
He
He
fucked
didn't
someone
name
with that.
names,
Oh,
but he
that's
was
good.
like, "Oh, when you have people showing up at shows that bang people, and then the girl shows up and she has a different guy." I was like,
I was just
All
talking
right,
about
all right.
urinating. What are
Polly,
you
Polly had a whole
That's
thing
pretty-
about
yeah,
it.
that's
It's crazy how conspiracies get started.
Yeah.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies.
We're
The
not even 2
independent
minutes into
bathroom's
the
like a-
pod.
Yeah.
We're making some alleys.
You're gonna have to go all Bill Clinton, but I did not
You know,
Yeah.
have sexual relations.
Where else would people know you from, Ken?
Seven Dads TV.
Seven Dads
Seven
TV.
Dads.
Seven Dads
Check it out.
TV on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
Seven Dads? Is that the
Yeah, that's the YouTube
Stories.
channel.
Oh,
That's the name of it.
story?
What's the origin of the name of the show?
The number of stepdads you have?
No.
It's the number of gay dads you have.
Long story short, I saw a man on Instagram with a very funny username. It was Tyler Mick. Insert slur right there. The fun slur.
Which slur?
2 G's in the middle.
Well, that could be 2 of them.
I'll let you guess.
Yeah.
I'll let you guess.
Wait, what's the other one?
Well, there's the one that I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it was Tyler Mick, the one Joseph wouldn't say.
Okay.
Okay, and then basically I added him. It was a guy who would just shred on guitars, and basically I added all of his friends. He added all of my friends, and we created a group chat called Seven Dads, and we sent racist memes to each other, and then that's how that beautiful.
Shout out you, Tyler.
They don't have
Yeah,
him.
shout out Tyler.
Is he still alive?
He is. He's
is
somewhere
he?
in Ohio, probably doing kratom and
Oh.
ketamine or something.
Nice.
So
Do you keep in touch
What does
with Tyler?
kratom do?
not anymore.
All right, good.
You ever done kratom?
No, but I've been around people on kratom, and they just look like deflated, like they just
Weird.
Have you done it?
No, I've never done it, but I've seen people that I know that have drug problems, and they're like, "This is
Ew.
gonna get me off of kratom. Kratom's gonna get me off of heroin." I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, yeah, there's actual like medications that you could take for that.
Yeah. There's methadone. There's stuff like that. The methadone fucks you up
Oxycontin.
too.
You done it?
No, I haven't done it.
Suboxone. I've heard of people abusing Suboxone.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
Ken, I've always thought this about you since we first met.
Yeah, what's
You
that?
you got such a great like presence and in terms of like internet personalities. I've always thought like Ken's gonna be the one who makes it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. See, I thought it would be someone that's like actually funny. You know.
You don't think you're funny?
I mean, I'm okay. Not as funny as Matt though.
Sure,
Ah.
obviously.
Not as funny as Matt.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what they say about Jewish writers.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I was getting at. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you
Great
for
in
actually
others.
saying it.
You don't post any topless
275,000
self-reflection
of them.
videos.
There you go.
That's the other thing.
Is that
I think
the?
that's what's gonna hit it for him.
That's been hitting my my algo lately.
What's that?
The corrected numbers.
Oh, for the H
Yeah.
was 275,000.
Yeah. Apparently, allegedly, I don't know.
Never heard that.
Have you heard that? You've
I've-
heard that, Ken.
H.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that
Yeah.
there was an estimated corrected number, but I heard that there.
They crunched the numbers, which I mean, being Gentiles, who knows if they're crunching the numbers correctly?
Right.
But apparently, the correct number is 275,000.
That sounds about right. If you really think about it, yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
That's interesting.
You know, I would say this about Matt. The longer I get to know you, Matt, the more Jewish you look. Because at first I was like, oh, he's really
He's
Jewish.
a white guy.
That's what I'm saying. And then you really look at
I get
him.
Jewier as time goes on.
Uh-huh. It's that tint, man. It's that tint.
You just start seeing yarmulke on him.
Yeah. You got a little
I've
Jew
worn-
tint to you.
I've worn plenty of yam in my life. You know? I did. Went to private Hebrew school. We had to wear a yam
Yeah.
every day.
Did you really?
You're yammed up.
It is.
Yum.
For 8 years.
Wow. It's a lot of
We
yarmulkes.
did morning prayers.
Did you have like different colored ones for different days of the week?
No.
Oh, pff,
Would they
what's the
smell?
point?
Would they get sweaty?
Would
Do you have to
they-
wash them?
I don't think. No, we never did. They're usually
Okay.
they're like.
That explains.
Well, there's different types. Plus, a lot of them are like, they're not disposable, but they basically are. So you'd lose 1,000 yarmulkes a year. You know, kind of get a new one every time.
This appears.
Right.
Has anyone ever like made it?
There's tons of turtles all over the place, just choking
Wearing
on
yarmulkes?
fucking old yams.
A lot
Has
of
anyone
Jewish
ever tried to
turtles.
like make a statement by wearing a rainbow yarmulke?
A
That'd be
rainbow
cool.
yarmulke?
Yeah.
I'm sure they
That'd be
have.
cool.
I'm sure somewhere on Tumblr that's been posted.
Absolutely. I've never seen it personally, but I guarantee you there's a.
I'm sure somebody who listens to Madonna does.
Yeah,
Probably not a rainbow hijab, though.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
that'll be the day.
Yeah, that was the day. Take my money.
There was the RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
They had a Muslim guy on it, and then he wore a hijab for like one of his drags.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
Yeah, they had Jeff Goldblum was their celebrity judge, and he was like questioning if that was like socially acceptable for that guy to do that. And then they were trying to cancel Jeff Goldblum online for
Oh.
saying
But
that
he's Jewish.
he's Jewish. Yeah,
Trying to cancel Jeff Goldblum for questioning
even
whether
questioning
or
it?
not
a drag queen should wear a hijab.
Should have. Well, the question is who gets offended by it more. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like a trad muzzy, like they wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, but then also the feminists, they wouldn't like
They
that a
shouldn't like
woman
that
is. Yeah,
either.
they shouldn't like that.
For that reason, I actually love it because it technically offends everybody.
There you go.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Shout out that guy. We should get him
Christians
on the
would be
pod.
mad.
Get them on the pod.
Yeah.
Say them. Yeah.
There you go. Do you watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race?
No, I only knew that had happened because I was there was a point where I was keeping up with all the cancellations because I was just like, who do I want to defend today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
I have a genuine, probably insensitive question for you that,
Me personally.
yes,
Yard dog.
you don't have hair. How do you keep your yarmulke on?
Me.
Yes.
I rarely wear one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
There's
have like
different
little
ones.
sticky things or a bigger
No,
one?
there's ones that just
bigger
kind
one.
of grip.
It's like a
Yeah,
suction
they-
cup.
Yeah, first of all, there's
Okay.
plenty of bald Jews.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no shortage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we've
It's a
developed-
genuine interest. It's not to be offensive.
developed the technology to where like
It's a bigger one that's a suction cup. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it can be.
'Cause I know you wear like, if you have hair, you can do bobby pins and stuff,
Right,
but I've never.
and stuff.
Yeah. My uncle growing up was Jewish, but not a blood relation. But yeah.
Here's the other thing: if you're yammed up,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like we're doing a ton of like physical activity.
No, you're just chilling in church.
I'm not gonna play
Yeah.
basketball
Temple.
wearing a yarmulke.
Doing taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
Then,
just
that's-
show up to like a religious event and you
Yeah.
sit down.
I
and
had to
get
put my
these-
thinking cap on to do these taxes.
a lot of sitting and talking. So you know,
Some of these kids, I was getting coffee a couple weekends ago, and there was a group of
At
Muslims.
a Yemeni coffee shop.
No, it was not. It was at a normal coffee shop. You know, I can't stand the
He
Yemeni
hates
coffee,
Yemeni
but there
coffee
was
shop.
still a group of Muzzies at this
Yes.
coffee shop. And then you know how like you'll see like Jewish boys walking around asking people if they're Jewish.
yeah.
They walked into this coffee shop. They asked me, and I just ignored them because I don't like talking to people. And then I saw them approach this table of Muslim youths, and I was so pumped. I was like, I want to see what's going to happen.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
Did you roll some
Just
rocks over?
scream race war.
I was so pumped because they looked Palestinian too. I was like, what are they going to do with it? And the kids asked them, and then they just said no, and then the kids walked away.
Ah, bummer.
So much potential for
Yeah.
fireworks.
Right.
I wonder why they were asking people.
That's what they do. It's
They do. Well, let me answer your question. They don't just ask you if they're Jewish. They show up with what are called tefillin. So I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of like religious Jews and they got leather straps around their arm. Have you seen that?
no, I
No?
don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's very kinky. It's very important. Every day you're supposed to wrap. There's a little box with a prayer in it, and it's got a leather strap. And you put the box on your arm, and you strap it around, and then you put another one on your head. Is a box with it's like a ring, and then the thing goes down.
How big is this box?
They vary from maybe
Little
this big
teeny?
to about that big, right?
It sounds like Vampire Slayer shit or something. I
It
don't
basically
know.
is.
Yeah.
It's
Van Helsing stuff or something.
Yeah, so you do that, and then you put on a prayer, and you're supposed to do that every day. So they say, "Are you Jewish?" And if you say yes, then they go, "Have you put on tefillin today?" And then you go, "No." And they go, "Hey, man, you got to put it on. You got to put it on." Like, all right, fine. Then you do that. So that they're just trying to encourage Jews to put that stuff on for their daily prayer.
I was always told they do that and they ask for money.
No, there's no exchange of money.
Okay, that's that. I wasn't like saying that as a joke. Like that's actually what I was told was that they do it and they ask for money because they want to send.
I think somebody pranked you to have you say that out loud.
It was a Jewish person who told me that. I said, "What are they doing?"
Yeah.
And
That
then
was
he said,
probably a joke.
yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they do it because it's like a very important like ritual that you're supposed to do. So it's like if I help you do it, then it's also like
Good on them.
I get
Yeah.
God points.
You get little
do a
points,
mitzvah, what's called a mitzvah.
It's like
For the
a
sake of this conversation, we'll call it God points. Doing a mitzvah means you do a good thing
A good
that God
deed.
tells you to do. So putting it on is a good thing, and then helping someone else put it on is it's like an assist.
Okay.
oh, so they're just walking around trying to collect
They're
points.
trying to rack up their points.
Okay.
You know what I mean? By helping other Jews put it on. They're just racking up the box
That's awesome.
score.
I will say they're always respectful when I tell them no, and they're like, "Oh, have a good day."
Okay.
But in this one scenario, I was very rude to them because I didn't want to.
Okay.
I was hard at work editing podcasts.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
very important
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, so back to the conversation from earlier. Ken Wood, big star in the making.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's hope.
Well, it's because
Only getting older.
well,
How old are you?
I'm 29, but I think you guys are older than me, right?
29.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest bitch here.
yeah.
Indeed.
29's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm doing good. I feel like
Because
I look
'cause
younger
you-
than Joseph too.
You do, yeah.
You do.
You got me beat.
Certainly.
Because you were into like Sam Hyde and the Whitest Kids You Know,
Yeah.
and like a lot of that like type of shit. Yeah, I always saw you go on that route of like how they kind of
Pop off.
pop off. Yeah,
Yeah, but sketches are so hard to make.
that is true.
Like the sketches I want to make are very hard because it's not just me and a camera talking in my
Yeah.
car or like little things.
Is that a shot at Yari?
No. Does Yari do that?
Well, he doesn't do sketches.
He's sitting in his car with a camera.
Yeah. But for some people, that's how you get your comedy out there. Like, there's people that are very successful in that. But, like,
Wolfing down a sandwich seems to be pretty good for viewership.
it does. It does. But I also don't like the character videos that you, like, see, like, Trevor
those
Wallace
suck.
do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just, like, a character and then
No.
51 liners of
Yeah.
that character. I got, like, stuff where there's, like, place setting characters
Yeah.
or at least, like, a
Yeah.
show parody or something like that. And it's very hard to make stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With, being in Detroit, everyone's far from each other. And, yeah.
yeah. What kind of sucks about those like one-liner videos? Because I've been like trying to dabble with that on TikTok, like making some sort of like I'm trying to like post every day on TikTok something, some sort of like sketch or like comedic thing. And the problem with those is like you come up with an idea, but then you search it and you're like, oh, 50 other people have done this before, like, or it's just not funny. Like I'm just saying a thing that's just not funny, but I know that people will click on it because it's relatable.
That's soul crushing.
Yeah,
that is soul crushing. So you got to find the balance. The clip I had on Instagram that did pretty well, I was about to delete that after a couple hours. That thing only had like 4 likes after a couple hours.
Really?
And then it now has almost 1 million views, like 60,000
to
likes,
wait for it to
50,000
hit.
shares.
Yeah.
And algorithms are so weird. They're working against us.
What is the clip?
The clip is from my solo podcast, and it's literally just a joke of like, it literally says 2008 comedy movies, and I'm like, 2008 has the best comedy movies of all time. Step Brothers, Tropic Thunder, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, some of the best comedy movies of all times. And then I had like another line after that. It's 19 seconds long. But I knew, honestly, that's like, it was
I'm
more
gonna
of me.
post that and then make that go viral.
But it's really more marketing than anything, because I
Yeah.
knew it's like a hook sentence, like proper English class or basic English class, because like you see the 2008 comedy movies, I know right there that's going to hit an audience. And then I know The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, everyone's seen that movie. It's in half of the like school's curriculums in the country. I watched it in school like multiple times.
I never saw it.
Yeah, well,
Really?
That's crazy, right? The Jewish guys
You
never
of all
see that.
people.
I'm sure he really wants to watch something about his people
That's crazy.
I would
being
have thought they would
devastated.
watch it.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know what that was. So it was a Holocaust movie then?
What
It
the
is.
hell?
Yeah.
You
that's-
never
It
even
is.
heard of it?
It's insane.
Yeah.
I watched other Holocaust movies.
Yeah.
I know what the Holocaust allegedly was.
You never know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no, that's yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think that like a big part of it is just putting stuff out there and like
Yeah, for
just
sure.
letting it kind of sit there and not being too spammy with it. And I don't know.
That's the problem I think I'm starting to run into is like when you post so much content, they start to cut each other off. So you're limiting your audience by like having so much content out there, because now it's like, oh, I posted a video, it's starting to gain some traction. I'm gonna post another one. Oh no, it's blocking that one now, and
Yeah.
then this one's
Yes.
starting to get traction, and now it's blocking this one, and so it's just like they keep eating each other in the algorithm.
Yeah.
So you gotta time it out.
And I realized that like when that one was taking off, I didn't post for a couple weeks because I'm like, all right, I did it. Let people find me that way.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, and then I posted like 1 or 2 more clips that did pretty well, and then I posted one that it was about and I've realized that talking about sex sometimes is a touchy subject. It talked about sex and omegle, and right when that video, it capped out at like 200 views, and right when it capped out, the circulation of the viral one stopped. So I'm like, that had something to do with
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the like 200-300. That's about like the cap, and then once you hit that, then it's like, all right, you're not getting anything else.
I think it has something to do with how much it's getting shared, too,
Yeah, for
because it's all about clicks, and shares are going to lead you to more clicks. And then with the one that went viral, had a couple likes after a couple hours, and then 8 hours later, I was at an open mic, and it went from, I was like, oh shit, it has 8 shares, and then like 30 minutes later, it had 40 shares, and I told somebody, I was like, oh shit, this has 40 shares, and they were like, yeah, it's better than likes, and then it just kept growing, and then up until about 30,000, it had more shares than likes, and then right when the likes started to grow, it kind of slowed down a little bit and like balanced it out. So I think that getting stuff that makes people want to share it is like really
for sure.
key. But it's hard to, once again, you don't want to do stuff that is
Yeah, you don't want to say in the video, like, share this with your friends if you think this is funny.
Yeah.
Because that's just fucking gay, and then it's like, I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
I don't have respect for those people.
You don't have respect for those people? I have respect for them because they're like, they're working on their hustle.
Share
And
this
they're,
with your friends.
but
why
Right,
do
but
you have
people
to
that,
beg
like-
people to share it?
They're gonna share it. They're gonna share the shit they want to share.
Yeah.
exactly.
Whether
That's
or not
anything
the
that's
person
like-
says so.
Yeah,
Any of
you know
those,
what I mean?
any of
But
those
there's people who
stupid-ass
make content just to be shared. That way, they like it boosts them in the algorithm.
Yeah.
I know those make me think of the people that post the shit that's like, it's bad luck if you don't post your
Yeah.
picture from 2023 and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, or add yours. It's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
My wife was asking me about today. She liked the post by Barstool, and she was like, "What is Barstool?" Because they,
Yeah.
like because you always talk about like the podcast from Barstool, but then also they just post random videos, and I was like, yeah, that's their whole business model. They buy videos off of people so they can share them, and then like those videos will get way more views than the individual creators will, and then that just boosts Barstool's like following in the algorithm. So
Or they'll buy podcasts out, and you'll get Barstool podcast. Yep.
So I mean, it's like smart marketing for them, but the problem with that is that like you're getting followers who aren't following you for your content. They're following you because of this one post you posted.
You had one person on or something, and it's like they're never going to watch anything else from you.
And I mean, I'm sure there's some like follow through of like people who are like, oh, I'm going to watch other posts. But I mean, if it's like just a clip from like a hockey game and you like that, like what are the chances you're going to like be converted to everything else that Barstool has? I mean, I'm sure they're a big enough brand by now that they don't have to worry about that. But
yeah, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy. Yeah, he is a Jew.
Smart guy. I look up to him a lot.
Yeah.
I watch the pizza ones. I like what are their question ones where they have people submit questions and they'll have like Sam Tallent's done a couple of them. Speaking of him,
I might have seen something like that.
But they have a couple of them. It's like a Ask Me Anything kind of thing, or they have one that's like a Would You Rather, like really depraved Would You Rather things, and those are funny. But any of their
those
broadcasts
type of, like,
and
challenge
stuff,
videos,
I'm like,
those are a lot of fun. I like those. Yeah, our friend Lil Pete was on a Barstool
Lil
recently.
Pete.
Yeah,
that dude's a trip.
Yeah, he is a trip.
Yeah.
What?
Some of his stories, oh my gosh, I'm shedding. His stories are just out of control.
Yeah.
That dude, did you watch that?
No, I did.
You
I
need
did
to watch
his
it.
Instagram.
He's the most.
Does anyone have his bio? What does his bio say? Because it made me
Well,
his
he's a
bio.
stand-
Lil
up.
Pete don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's his. Yeah, that's his motto. His
Where did he grow up
catchphrase.
in the Bronx or something?
Something like
He's
that.
so New
like that, I
York.
don't know.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost racist how
That
New
dude's a
York-
trip.
Yeah, right.
For only being half
But he
Italian.
loves it. He embodies
He's
it.
really into it. He's really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how Paulie Pepitone would be if he imbibed what he really
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah.
Paul has a New York accent. He's probably never even been there.
That's just Italian.
Yeah.
He's a Detroit
He's a Detroit wop.
Italian.
Yeah.
Sicilian. You got to say Sicilian.
Sicilian. Yeah, he gets upset if you say
Really? Because he says Italian all the time.
Yeah.
He's the Italian, but
He's
he is
corrected me
Sicilian. He'll
sometimes,
correct
yeah.
people with it being Sicilian. There's a difference.
Well, that's very Sicily.
They get like they're very defensive. Sicilians, they're very defensive about it. I guess there's like a difference. I don't know. I guess it's like how Chaldeans like get upset when you call them like Arab.
Yeah, if they're Muslim.
They're all Mexicans to me.
Yeah. What's new with you, Ken?
Dude, not shit, man.
Really?
Not shit. I just went to Chicago.
Yeah, how was that?
How's Chicago?
Dominic. That was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. It was. We stayed in a hostel. Do you guys know what a hostel is?
Wow, it'd be weird.
Yeah, it's shared.
They probably have
Yeah.
What did
spacious
you do in those
bathrooms.
Ken?
Heyo.
Honestly, they were very nice.
Unlike the porta potty at the Independent.
Yeah, no, that's gross. But the showers were very nice, actually.
Wow.
And me and Dom had bunk beds.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
Who
we
took
bunk
the
bed.
top bunk?
I took the top on.
Oh.
I'm not letting Dom sleep on the top.
Yeah, dude, if
He's a
he'd
big
crush you.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And I felt like I was gonna break it, so
Yeah.
you know. But other than that, good. I mean, the open mics were good. The food was good.
Sure.
It was a lot better than Detroit.
It is
I
a
don't
lot
know if
better
I
than
could really
Detroit.
say that without
You
getting
can.
shot.
It was
but
better
It
than
is better
Detroit?
than Detroit.
What? The city is better than Detroit, or what?
I mean, at least the place we were in was super nice.
What area were you in?
Lincoln Park.
It's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's like 3 miles from downtown.
Yeah.
and it's
And it was nicer than our Lincoln Park.
without
By
a doubt,
fathoms,
dude.
by fathoms.
Without a doubt.
Exponentially nicer.
Not a lot of homeless people. I thought there'd be more homeless people.
Yeah,
Like,
not a
Nope,
ton.
not too
You know,
bad.
There recently
They
too.
ship them out to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, if you were homeless,
homelessness-
wouldn't you want to be in a warm place? Like, why the fuck
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
people stay here? It blows my mind when there's homeless people here in the winter.
Well, not very many.
That's wild.
You know, they migrate down.
Right. You should.
Yeah.
Did you guys run into any Chicago friends while you were out there?
Not really, no.
Did you run into any gangs?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
That's what I was scared of too. I was.
Were you
You didn't go to the south side, did you?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
they-
I mean, we
they
kind of
pass
drove
that
by
south
some
side.
university, and it kind of looked a little rougher when we were leaving. But other than that, dude, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The food was really good. The pizza
Yeah.
was good.
You go to
Fucking-
Supino's? Or no?
No.
Big
no,
L's.
Giordano's. That's the,
Giordano's,
Yeah, we did,
Big L's,
actually.
No, Lou Malnati.
Illuminati.
Okay.
He said
yeah,
Illuminati.
but Giordano's, that's like the famous place.
Yeah.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Illuminati.
I thought
That's the big one.
Oh, really?
Lou
That's
Mal-
the-
I always thought Giordano's was the famous one.
That's the chain one that's big.
My
okay.
understanding, Lou
Yeah.
Malnati is
Technically, I will say this: after we were leaving Giordani's or whatever that was,
Yeah.
Dominic had pizza in his hand, and then somebody came up and was like,
Gave
"That's
it to
not real
someone.
Chicago pizza. You got to go to
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that. So
Okay. Makes sense.
he did.
Plus,
he did
the big
talk
thing
about
isn't the like giant deep dish shit. The big thing is the bar pizza, which is like a flat regular pizza that they cut
In Chicago?
into squares.
it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the local
You
cuisine.
guys go to the 5-story Starbucks?
No,
Hell no.
no, they did have a fancy Raising Cane.
How many
though.
people jump off that 5-story Starbucks?
I don't know, but last time I was there, they had a
Not enough.
line around the corner of people
That's
waiting to get
insane.
into that Starbucks.
They had a Nutella
Why?
shop
Dumbest
over there
thing I've
too.
ever
Yeah, they do.
People are
Like that, yeah.
That one had a long line too.
Yeah, that
yeah.
did too. We got some like Chicago hot dogs from some like
Okay.
famous place. It was pretty damn good.
They're weird.
There's a place I
Poppy
went
seed
to,
bun.
Yeah,
a hot dog place that is closed down. Apparently, it was on what's his name's show? The guy who killed
Guy
himself.
Fieri. Oh,
Anthony
Bourdain.
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 Yeah, so he went to this hot dog place called Hot Dogs, and they had these very exotic hot dogs.
Okay.
What's
Wait,
the
in
one where
Chicago?
they scream at you? Wiener
Okay,
Circle?
'cause-
Did you do that?
well, I was gonna say they had a picture of Anthony Bourdain in the
Oh,
fucking thing,
yeah.
but I don't know if it was. They had a picture of Billy Zane in the hot dog place and Chance the Rapper being in there, but I don't know if the picture of Anthony Bourdain was.
Bourdain.
I don't know.
Actually,
Well,
yeah.
this place that I'm talking about doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. Oh, true.
But
true.
I went there once, and they have like gator hot dogs.
Wow.
And they have hot dogs with foie
Gator's good.
gras, and all these different like exotic meats.
You can gavulge yourself on hot dogs when you go.
Basically,
How you
yeah.
make frog
So
water.
we went. The line was like out down
Weird.
the block.
My friend, every year for his birthday, he has a brat off. And so there's a fancy brat place somewhere in Michigan where they get like 100 brats, but they're like special brats. There's like pepperoni.
Worst
there's,
Bar.
like, onion and cheese,
There's that
gummy
place
bear.
in. Yeah, Ipsy Worst Bar does a bunch of weird ones.
Really? Yeah. They're fancy. Like,
Gummy
they're-
bear brats.
Gummy bear brats. Gummy
in the
bears
brats.
injected
brats.
into the brat.
Oh,
The dessert
weird.
one. The blueberry ones.
We
were
had
really
blueberry one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
blueberry
that
ones
was
are fucking
good.
amazing.
You
The
get the
pepperoni
salty
ones.
sweet thing going.
Interesting.
I think what is it? Plum Market or one of those fancy markets will sell a bunch of different ones. They have a bunch of
Crazy.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like it's a hard thing to do. You guys ever see how
Yeah.
brat is made? It looks
I
like
don't
a
think I've ever
condom.
had a brat.
Shove it in a tube.
Yeah,
Shove-
it's like
shove
a
a bunch
condom
of
getting
stuff in
filled.
there.
They had like
Sauce.
feta
Yeah,
and
just
chicken
fill
and
it up.
spinach ones that were good.
You've
like
never had a
those.
brat?
I don't think so.
That fits you so much, dude. That's
You
crazy.
guys don't keep
though.
halal, but you won't eat a brat. What do you do?
Yeah. You doing it for Allah?
No, they don't do that. He's Chaldean.
Oh.
You ever had a hot dog?
I've had a hot dog. I've never had a bratwurst.
Basically the same thing.
Honestly, I like a hot dog.
Hot
more.
dog.
I'll
that's
argue
gay
that.
enough. No, I can't
ugh,
go with that.
I can't do hot dogs. I'll eat a brat. Hot dogs
Why
are
is it a differentiator?
One's just
the
big.
quality of meat and the amount of fat in the meat. I don't like that like homogenous meat thing that a hot dog does. I don't do bologna.
So wait,
So
you,
you
don't,
like
you like
those
brats more?
specks?
I don't like
I'll
brats
eat a
'cause,
brat.
like, when you bite them, you can see everything rushing to the condom skin and it like busts out.
I thought you liked
In a
that.
brat?
Yeah.
No, I like
I
brats.
thought you like when that happens in a bathroom.
Yeah,
Ayo.
just saying, but
Right.
not on my brat.
Weird.
It's weird. Not on
Interesting.
my food.
So, Ken, you're moving to Austin.
Yeah, when
Yeah, I
is
think
that?
so. I have to.
happening?
You
I
think
yeah.
so?
Well, I have to find a place next week.
Really?
That's the
What?
thing. Yeah, because I got to do it now. I was gonna move back to my parents' house and try to stack money, and I'm not gonna do that.
don't do
It's just bad.
Are they hard
That's
to live
fair.
with?
Yeah, it's not even too bad, but it's like,
It's tough
just a
moving
thing.
back in with your parents as an adult.
29. It's a whole thing.
yeah, I can't do it. You know. So now I got to find a place. So I got to do that next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems very nice down there. Everyone I talk to who's down there absolutely loves it.
Have you been there or no?
No, I haven't. So
Just jump.
You
out.
should go visit.
No, I don't think so. Because I mean,
How do you feel with homeless people? I mean, that's a big problem.
if I'm going to move to New York, LA, Chicago, it's going to be more than likely
Chicago's
worse.
not bad with them. New York,
No, but-
I didn't have any problems. The last couple times I've been in New York, like there's a handful of crazy people, but it's not like out of control.
Yeah, but I feel like when you live in the city and you have to go over here, you have to really know your routes. And
Yeah.
Austin, I mean,
Austin's bad
You
because
just
like
gotta
the
go to one road.
like homeless culture is different down
yeah,
there.
that's what I've heard. From
My
Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
is that the homeless don't fuck with you in Austin.
What do you mean?
See, I heard kind of the
I've
opposite.
had the opposite.
Really?
I've heard
Yeah.
the opposite from quite a few people. But
They
at the
didn't
same
Yeah.
fuck
time,
with me while I was there, and from what I was
You look
told
more
by
intimidating.
yeah,
could be it.
I'm 6'5".
You're
You're pretty
yeah.
tall. You're pretty tall.
From what Jason said, maybe it was Jason, maybe someone else, that like they just hang out. They don't really like mess with you or anything. I don't know.
Homeless?
Yeah.
Just mind keep to their own.
Yeah.
It's not that they keep to their own, but they're not gonna like fuck with you or like follow you or anything.
I talked to somebody who lived down there, and they said that maybe Riverside was like the worst area.
They're
to
more
go there.
aggressive. Mhm.
But then I talked to Mason, and Mason was like, he said the whole thing was basically gentrified, and I kind of got what he was
Yeah.
saying of terms. He's like, but there is homeless everywhere, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Gentrified plus homeless.
Yeah,
It's an interesting combination.
But also, all the comics are homeless too. They're all living in their vans,
Yeah.
trucks, or whatever because they
Yeah.
want to make it on
So
Kill Tony.
They're all just comics, basically.
Well, no, there is like homeless, like crackhead, or
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever the Austin equivalent to crackheads
Yeah.
are.
it seems like a pretty
Fentanyl
easy
head.
Freedom
city.
Head.
Yeah,
Creative.
but there's a lot of homeless comics too who like just sleep outside the mothership because they like dream of being
They're
on
just
Joe
waiting.
Rogan. Yeah, is that your goal? Is like to get on Kill Tony or whatever?
Not really. No, I
Do
just
you even like care about Kill Tony?
Yeah, I do. I pay attention to it,
okay.
and that's more of my like style, and like I do like a lot of those guys, but it's more or less
Really?
because. Why do you say really like that?
Does it
Because you don't
surprise you?
strike me as like being
And
a
see,
fan
like,
of, like
in
that sort of
mean, like they're mean. I don't see
No,
that.
it's not even that they're mean. Like, yeah, my
I don't know. I feel like I have some pretty fucked up shit out there.
Yeah.
I know that's why I'm saying I don't think you would like be one of the Kill Tony guys.
No, I thought you were saying that you didn't think I was a fan of those guys, or like.
Both.
Okay. No, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I will say the regulars are like when it comes to like the regulars and everything like that. I will say like I understand the marketing behind every single one of them.
Yeah.
Because even like Casey Rocket, for instance, like I find Casey Rocket funny. I don't find him over the top funny, I guess. But like I understand why people love him, and I understand why he is so popular.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, I'd rather just go there than New York, LA, Chicago. It's
Yeah.
cheaper, the weather's better.
For sure.
And I always said if I always had success, I would retire in the South. You know,
It'd be nice.
You
Yeah,
know,
the weather would be
So you're
much
just
better.
retiring early.
and so yeah, if there's an opportunity to make something, and then of myself in the South, I'm going to go down there. But my plan is to probably stay down there 5 years and then move to LA or New York, because at some point I'm going to get to an age where I'm probably just going to write scripts for shit and try to make movies instead of comedy and stuff like that. Because and honestly, like I feel like that, especially with even being a comedian, you find more work from like writing television than actual
Yeah.
stand-up shows and shit like that.
well,
The
tides
there's
are
the whole-
turning now.
yeah, but there's the whole grind of like if you're in a big city writing shows, writing jokes, and then trying to build yourself up in the stand-up thing. So I don't really know.
My understanding now is that touring comics make a lot more than TV writers.
Yeah, I can see that, but that's if you have headlining and featuring is completely different too,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
that's if you have, and I mean, but it's at the end of the day, it's all about getting an agent to where they can get you into a funny bone and get you into a
Yeah,
solid 10 to 12 city tour every 6 months or something like that. But at some point, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just retired to trying to make movies and actual like serious movies,
Yeah.
you know, because I do feel like if you sell one script, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how Tarantino started.
Yeah,
They were
and-
selling scripts.
And I remember in in Ari Shafir's like class on YouTube, he's kind of talking about like Aziz Ansari selling scripts to Judd Apatow and how comics around them were like, oh, how the fuck did Aziz Ansari sell 4 scripts? He wrote 4 scripts and then he fucking sold them. Like it. So I think there's more of a true career path in doing stuff like that than doing stand-up comedy.
Sure.
But like you mentioned Sam Hyde just made so much money on his stand-up tour, and the Comedy Castle didn't even fucking advertise for him.
Right.
And he sold out
Sells out 2 shows.
two
like,
shows
instantly.
and it's hectic as fuck.
When
And
that's he was going to what's the new comedy
The
bar?
comedy bar, yeah.
yeah, I think he already came there.
Yeah,
too.
it was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
a couple weeks
And
ago. I'm
like, listen, I'm a fan. Like, nothing against him, but probably doesn't have solid material.
he's just a maniac.
Yeah.
That's really one of the first like professional shows I've ever left. And I was like, I think I can write better jokes than that.
yeah,
for
no,
sure.
it's
Like,
not
I
like it's like
love
dope
those
jokes.
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I absolutely love those guys, and
Yeah.
even my friend who I write with agreed with me. But like
Yeah.
some like there, and I might have said this story on here before, but like there was a moment where he did an offensive joke, and it started to get applause from the audience. And I didn't like clap. I put my arms like this, and I was like, "I'm not clapping." And that's like the closest social justice warrior moment I've ever had in my life, because that to me was me making a statement of
Taking
no.
a stand.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't deserve
No.
it. That wasn't funny,
But
actually.
yeah, but was that
Yeah.
for social justice reasons, or was that just because you don't think that's funny?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
the closest
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
ever
yeah.
gonna get.
Was it
Right.
a low blow trying to be funny, or was it a? What was the context?
But I don't think Sam's even
Yeah, what was
trying to be
what was
funny.
the
I
joke?
think he's just trying to
it's
be
the
as
anti-
yeah, I
retarded
think there's that
and
like
offensive as
abrasive.
possible.
It's
yeah.
it's the adult
People laugh
swim
'cause it's
anti-humor
abrasive.
type
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's still. Dude, it still was like the best show I've ever seen at the comedy.
Yeah, I
Festival.
can
I'll
imagine.
be honest. Like
It sounded insane.
It was so hype, and like no, being a fan of his sketch group and watching his openers and like actually seeing those guys do stand up, was pretty fucking fun.
Were you sitting in the splash zone when you saw him? How close were
Kind
you?
of. We were in the middle, and Sam, like how he came out was like it's like some epic music's playing, and like it's building suspense. So everyone's looking at the Comedy Castle door, waiting for him.
He
to come
comes
out.
through the back.
And he and I look up, and he's like 2 feet away,
Yeah.
from me, walking through the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then he just acted retarded for the first 5 or 10 minutes,
Dude.
like literally,
Yeah, actual.
Yeah.
kicking people's popcorn and shit, and people were loving it. So that's
man.
what I'm saying of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
anti-humor,
Yeah.
and just having an audience, man.
Yeah, I mean, he has
what it's all
diehard
about.
fans. His fans.
And they're kind of the Legion of Skank fans too.
Yeah.
A lot of them are crossover
Without a
because he'll be
doubt,
on
yeah.
that a lot. And then
Yeah.
the last time we were in New York, they had to cancel a show for Skanks and do it on a Sunday instead of a Monday. So on Monday they did like Skanks and Friends with Lewis hosting it, and that Sam Hyde closed it, and he probably did 15 minutes. And that's what I mean about the splash zone, is that he's sweating so bad by the end of it. He's like shaking sweat onto the audience. I was like, boy, am I
Yeah.
glad we're at the corner of the stage. It was, yo, it was something.
We've gotten very close a number of times to getting Nick on the podcast, and he just is not committing to it. I'm so fucking done with
That
it.
is hilarious.
I love him though, but
Is he just messing with you, or is he?
he keeps saying he wants to do it, and he's
Is he
going
gonna
to do
zoom
it.
in
but-
or what?
Huh?
Zoom, or
I'm,
if he's in town, he'll come out.
So it was going to be a Zoom, and then he went on vacation with his family, and he's like, I have to reschedule. And then I was like, okay, like let me know whenever you're back. And you didn't let me know, and then I was like, hey, like, can we do it now? And he's like,
Oh.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I found out they were coming to town. I was like, hey, when you're in town, would you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, for sure. Let's not do the Zoom. We'll do it when we're in town.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I was like, nice.
Then that didn't happen.
And then he was like, hey, I messaged him the week they were coming to town. He's like, oh, we just too much going on. We can't do it. And I was like, fuck. And then I was like, okay, well, when you're back, I'll. And he's like, yeah, for sure. And then I messaged him after the tour ended and was like, hey, like, let me know a time that works for you. And then he liked my message and he didn't respond. And then I saw when he was on Matan Evans' show, I messaged him and I was like, hey, I saw that thing. That was hilarious. And just no response after that. So I think he's done with me.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well, if you ever get him on, either have me on or let me write some questions.
Okay, for
'Cause
sure.
I got a lot of
Yeah.
questions.
You could probably get it. I mean, if his DMs were open to me, you could probably
Maybe,
get it.
yeah. I've heard of other people adding him on Facebook and shit.
Yeah, Chris Barrett, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think someone else too, yeah. And it's funny that like I'll see people that like we know, and I'll see like famous comedians in my suggested friends on Facebook, and it'll be like one mutual friend. And
Yeah.
It's like some open micer. I'm like,
Yeah.
How'd they pull that off?
yeah, you just honestly they probably just hit add friend. The guy was feeling nice.
Yeah.
I think if they see that you're a comic, a lot of times they'll add you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or like if they met them at a show or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, that's how you become friends with all these comedians, is like just talking to them after a show.
Right.
get connections,
Yeah.
talk to people.
Yeah. So, what are you looking most forward to in Austin?
Honestly, the stand-up, man.
Yeah.
Like Chicago was a small taste of that, of like just being able to hit
Lots of rooms all together
Lots
would
of
be
rooms.
really nice.
And one thing I'll say about Chicago is like, I told Dominic this. I'm like, I feel like the average comedian's better out there. Like, we watched like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
30 open micers go up, and I was like, a
Oh,
lot of them-
yeah.
I'm like, a lot of them when it came to stage presence, like premises,
Yeah.
and just being more in their thing. And like one thing I realized is like, well, that like I really want to do that now. That was like a taste of it, but
Yeah.
like we watched like 30 open micers at one, and then we went to another open mic, and then we saw like nobody else at that other open mic from the first one. So I'm like, they
Yeah.
clearly knew where to go after that first one and got there super early, and we're probably gonna end at the one we were at, or maybe I don't know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they got it mapped out.
Yeah,
Or they went to like a different one. Or-
yeah. But I think just honestly the stand up, just being able to do like 2-3 shows
Yeah.
a night and be able to walk places,
And also being able to, like, getting paid for stand up makes you want to try at it more than
Yeah.
just continually going
Yeah.
to open mics.
yeah.
Because they have more opportunity for getting paid there. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, probably a couple shows a week they're getting paid for.
Yeah,
it.
you get a lot more showcase stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's such a growing scene too.
Yeah.
so it's gonna kind of explode over the next 5 years and probably be oversaturated in some aspects.
Chicago.
No,
Austin's going to be ridiculous.
Pretty sure
yeah.
it's already oversaturated.
It is oversaturated.
yeah, probably because I think you've kind of touched on it. There's a lot of people there that aren't really comedians, and
Well,
like
that's what you're saying with
Right.
so many people go up and they're not even writing or doing any, like they're just going up to go up. It's crazy to me.
Well, they think they've done like 2 or 3 open mics, and they're like, I'm
You
ready to
go
go.
do it. I
Yeah.
Ready to test out this and
And
kill Tony.
People online have said that we're gatekeepers for thinking that, and that it's the
Why?
wrong mentality to have. And
They said they were gatekeepers.
we're gatekeepers
Have
for
they
saying
ever done
that people
stand-up comedy?
who've only done like 2 or 3 open mics shouldn't be like signing up for Kill Tony, or shouldn't be like,
No, you're
you know,
wasting
take-
everyone's time.
Exactly.
It's so
It's
fucking
like,
annoying.
give those spots to the guys who are living in
Yeah.
their car.
Yeah,
and have
somebody
been,
who
like,
actually
working on comedy
deserves
for,
to be
10 years
seen.
and-
Written consistently and
Yeah.
put in the
That
reps.
was the one we were at Madison Square Garden. The broad that got picked, I wanted to fucking scream. She was just a moron and she sucked. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm just here because I'm a writer for the Daily Mail and I'm hoping I can get more journalism jobs." And I'm like, "You can't even speak English well. Like, how the fuck are you going to be a good journalist?"
that's actually fucked
Yeah.
up.
She is a fucking moron.
And yeah,
What country was she
like-
from?
She was an American dumb bitch.
Yeah, but she
Like,
said she didn't even speak English well. Oh.
no, like people who live in America are shitty at English, dude.
I was gonna say send them back, but
No, dude.
they're going a couple blocks
No,
away.
dude.
Take a step back.
Don't you know anyone who's a dumbass? You live downriver.
That's very
How do
true.
people
Just
speak downriver?
Anybody who
Downriver.
says that we are gatekeeping,
How the fuck are we
for thinking
gatekeeping by
it's
saying
stupid
thoughts?
for somebody to do to like?
yeah,
I don't have a gate. There's no gate for me to keep.
yeah.
I'm not stopping you from. I'm just saying that's a dumb thing to do.
Oh, thank you.
In order to gatekeep, you have to be the one who's in charge of booking a thing.
Yeah. I mean,
So whoever said that is a
Just
fucking
expressing your
dumbass.
thoughts is
fucking
not
retarded.
gatekeeping.
The-
We're not keeping them off our show. Like fucking dumbass.
The thing is that, like, I shield this from everybody's eyes. You guys don't see the hate as much as I do.
I saw some. There's a few people that really don't like me.
We get so much hate.
Where do we get in the YouTube comments?
YouTube, TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram not so much, but
Yeah.
YouTube and Tiktok, and on the shorts especially, you get a lot of comments.
Well, that's good.
And yeah, that's
The
like-
funniest
the
thing is them
That's growing
commenting on
pain.
stuff is just helping you.
Yeah.
It's like how much you
I've-
hate
yeah,
us.
even
It's like,
like
If
outside
anything,
of
that's a
that.
good thing because it's like if you're gonna take the time to watch us
Right.
and then talk shit,
Right.
it's like at least they watched
least
us.
they're helping
You know what I
us.
mean? Like I think that's a good thing. So
No, but even outside of that, it's just like, even if it was like bad engagement, like it's the thing that's been getting to me is like when they say that we're losers or that. I don't know. This feels fucking gay to have to defend like doing a podcast, but it's like then you fucking do something. Like,
right.
you
They're
just do
sitting at
something
home being
then.
a fucking troll.
Just fucking do something.
Yeah.
I posted a clip on YouTube Shorts, and somebody commented on it. They were like, "I've seen some really funny stuff on this channel," and I was like, "Big space," but this ain't it. And then I posted another clip, And then they clearly subscribed to me because they like commented right away, and they were just like, ugh. And honestly, both clips did relatively
That's
well.
the people who sit around and shit talk and troll, and it's like anyone could make a podcast, anyone can make clips. You have a fucking phone in your hand all day, or you're on your computer all day. You could do it. If you don't like what someone else is doing, fucking go out there and make something you like, idiot. Like
that's ultimately what gets me, because it's like
so
I'm all
stupid.
for free speech. I'm all like, if you don't like my content, fine, leave a comment.
Don't
tell me that I
watch
suck.
it. Yeah,
I don't really care. But it's I don't know. I just think the mentality of like, because I don't leave hate comments on anything.
No.
Unless it's one of my friends.
unless
or, like,
something's
I'm
really
fucking with someone.
egregious, that it's like something really fucked up. That I'm like, come on.
Not even that. I don't comment on anything.
But
Or
unless it's like Gabe's post, and I'm like, this fucking sucks.
I don't comment on things. If I was gonna leave a negative comment, it would be to somebody like big, like someone who's already allegedly made it.
Yeah.
You know, who I disagree with, and I might think they're dumb, but not to like just a couple of like bootstrap starters, like just trying to like start their first little thing.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
even friends of ours that it's stuff that I don't necessarily like watching. It's like I'll like it, or I'll just put it on in the background of something. So it's like just engaging with your friend's shit.
Let's name
That you're
names.
names.
You
But
said you listened to my shit. I was surprised at that. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
I watch everybody's shit. You support your friends.
Oh yeah, that's right. You accused me of sexually assaulting Gabe.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
In what way? Explain details.
How did this go?
Well, that is the details. You guys said that I sexually harassed and assaulted Gabe.
And I was gonna make the original idea behind that is I was gonna make it like Gabe was leaving the P Boys and
All right, add him to the list.
And
Blood Gabe.
Who, Gabe?
No, Gabe's on there. No, I mean him. Johnny
Ken's
and
not
Louie are on there
Ken's not an enemy.
for accusing you.
but I was gonna make the whole theme of the podcast.
Yeah.
Gabe got something.
Gabe got gabed.
Yeah, Gabe got gabed by Joseph and the P Boys.
Yep.
And then we didn't talk about
That'd
it
be
for-
like the hottest get that Gabe would ever get, dude. Like, why?
I think he needs it. He talks about being single.
He talks about it. Allegedly, he's not single now. He's back with the old broad. He's back with his old broad.
Whoa.
Allegedly.
Gabe, you need to leave her.
But I
right
think
now.
part of the animosity
This is the clip
is
Joseph
that
is going to post to
there's
Instagram.
feelings-
Gabe, leave your girlfriend. Sorry, Kate.
There you go.
between both of them. There's feelings between both of them, and that's the animosity that
He was very distraught.
we need to
about
bring
a
it to
couple
the
weeks ago.
table.
He was like, I miss her so much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so bad.
No, I liked
That's
her. You guys
post-
didn't like.
I never met her.
I liked her. She seemed
She'd
cool.
be great.
Yeah, I thought she seemed
Missed
cool.
his birthday party. Were you at the birthday party?
No, I wasn't.
No, he wasn't there.
How many people were at the birthday party?
A lot of
There's
people.
quite a few people.
People that
Yeah.
came in and out.
Like 20
Yeah.
or
No,
more than that.
probably when I got there, I'd say maybe 40 people when I got there.
Maybe.
Yeah, by the end of the night, there still was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 15 people by like late at
Yeah, we left
night.
at like 1:30 or 2 or something. So.
Yeah, Gabe also got really drunk at my house that day and had to
Yeah.
spend the night at my house.
Is that why you know the inside details of what had happened? Allegedly.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
what?
Gabe gets real
yeah, Gabe
toasty.
got fucked up. It was St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
And, I thought Gabe could handle his shit.
Why would you think that?
I don't
No.
know. He's just like,
He's a tiny boy.
I was going to say,
He's
he's
not a
the-
large human.
It's the size of a small child.
Yeah.
A very small child. But took him over to my friend's house. They offered him to hit the blunt. He hit the blunt.
Oh, see, drinking and smoking, slippery slope,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I never see him smoke either, so he probably got annihilated.
I think so. I think so.
I
He told me
can't-
an old lady also harassed him.
He did get his ass grabbed by an old lady.
How
I-
old?
How old?
So
was
which
at
is
your
crazy.
place?
Yeah.
I went to the
How
Was
old
bathroom.
there
the
an
old
old lady
lady?
at your house?
No, it was the St. Patty's Day. We were out at the bar.
That was a bar.
All right.
And I went to the bathroom for
All right.
3 minutes tops, and I come back, and Gabe is literally talking to 3 broads and that are like 60 years old. And then I sit down in my.
I could see him hitting some gilfs. I could
thought
see
it
it.
was.
They would be like, he's just the cutest.
Yeah,
little-"
I'm gonna put him in my pocket.
I'm surprised he didn't that night because literally right when I sat down in my seat,
I could see
70-year-old
that.
woman came over and literally went right behind him and cuffed his cheek.
Aw,
Crazy,
I
dude.
love it. Love to hear it.
that's
Look at Gabe getting it.
that's just cute old lady hijinks.
We should tell his girlfriend that.
We should.
Okay.
Yeah, but they weren't together. It doesn't count.
I've
That's
gotten
true.
my cheeks grabbed a fair share.
Yeah.
At some parties.
Yeah.
I've gotten touched.
Yeah.
Mostly by black women. They love me.
Yeah, they do.
Man, black women are much more forward.
You do well at punchline. They like you.
One of my biggest regrets in life is
What can I say? Yeah.
one of my biggest regrets in life is my friends saw R. Kelly before he got locked up
Ooh.
at Shea Park in Detroit,
Ooh.
and they said they were the only white guys there, and they had a bunch of middle-aged black women coming on to him all
Yep.
night.
Oh.
You would probably kill it.
I think so.
You're tall. They like you.
Yep, that's special type of white. Mm-hmm. Well, I really fucked
Downriver.
to that comment.
Downriver white. That
Bummer.
get it. Get it, dude. You fucked up.
I really did fuck up, especially Shea Park. You guys ever been to Shea Park?
Yeah.
Not in
It's
not in
interesting.
the
It's interesting, right?
in the area.
It's
I've seen it though.
Yeah.
Diverse. Culturally diverse.
Exactly.
What's that shell thing over by you? That one down. Don't look out the window. The one downriver. That shell thing. That I did that. What the hell's that dome? Concert dome thing in It's not Wyandotte. I think that's technically Lincoln Park.
I don't.
That's a very interesting, culturally diverse
I don't.
concert location. It looks like it's attached to a high school. It's a big ass like dome thing that they do concerts at.
It's either the Yak Arena or District 142.
Yeah, no, not inside. It's outside. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, DTE?
It doesn't matter. No,
Not in
dude.
downtown.
Yeah, I was gonna. What the fuck? I'm sorry.
No, dude.
Oh.
It's like a thing they built in the like 60s. It's a big ass concert dome outside in a park downriver. It doesn't matter. Disregard.
yeah.
Continue the
What- yeah,
conversation.
do you know what happened with that show that Jason was supposed to do downriver?
Oh, the Melvindale one?
Maybe.
No, I thought it was still going on. Did it get canceled?
No, not the parts and labor one.
Oh, okay.
He was gonna
Oh, the
do like a
District
kill
142?
Tony one.
Yeah.
With Jacob Barr and Layla Ingalls.
Did it get canceled?
They did one out. They did one there a while ago, like a couple months ago, and then
I know,
they
but
did
they were
one.
gonna do one
In May, I
there,
believe.
and then I saw him post something
I thought
about
that was
like
supposed to be in like the middle of June.
yeah, it was going to be, but then he posted something about like.
They're
Yeah, that show is canceled. Like, I don't want to work with these people. And then Layla, I messaged her and was like,
Yeah.
"Is that show? Are you still coming to Michigan?" And she was like, "No, the show's canceled."
Oh, bummer. Because they did one. What was that too? They had that one, and then they did one at Diamondback, which is insane.
Who did?
Diamondback in Belleville, the same like
The same
handful of Kill Tony
Tony
people.
people?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Diamondback's another interesting venue, but I was there last when it was actually a square dancing place. That was a diverse group of folks.
That's another thing I find interesting is like these Kill Tony shows that are like
Yeah, well,
popping
that's
up
like the
where it's
Killers
like-
of Kill Tony at the Masonic, and it's
Yeah.
like not even the biggest names that
Yeah.
were Kill Tony regulars.
Honestly,
Tertiary.
So that's
Yeah.
always
Kill
funny to me when they do shit like that.
It
And,
is funny,
The
like-
tickets for that are, I think they're like $45 or $50 a piece, just because it has the name Kill Tony slapped
I do
on
enjoy Jacob Barr, but he's been on Kill Tony
Yeah,
once.
one
Yeah,
time.
He's now
Yeah.
like the Kill Tony guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're doing it so smart, man. They're
Yeah, I
they're,
mean,
they're
for
having
sure.
they're Kill Tony whatever people that live in Michigan and then
Yeah.
creating
Yeah.
tours throughout Michigan through
Yeah, and then you don't have to
For
pay
sure.
to actually tour anyone because they could just drive everywhere.
Exactly. It's very fucking smart.
Yeah, he is one of the best comics to come on.
He's
Kill
very
Tony. And
funny. Yeah.
he-
and his
and
thing,
it
like, I
was, like,
think he really nailed it. You could
His
tell he's
episode
so
was like
nervous.
the perfect episode.
But to have Biden and Trump
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that Adam Ray and Shane
That was,
Gillis
like, the
doing that, I'm
perfect
like,
thing,
dude,
yeah.
how lucky to land that. That's just the
I-
lottery is crazy with that,
Yeah.
and the guests is wild.
I was so happy for him.
Yeah, sounds like
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah, he's always been cool towards me. So that was
Exactly.
awesome to
He's
see
super
somebody.
nice.
That's what we mean when we say the shit of people that don't deserve it and people who fucking deserve it. And it's annoying when there's some dumbass that gets pulled and they're just a racist asshole. That's what's stupid.
You guys see Tim Heidecker's parody of Kill Tony?
No.
Yeah, it was called
Was it
Kill.
good?
I saw
only
someone
watched a
post
little bit of
but-
it, and it was called like Kill Timmy. And
Oh.
and the one part that got stuck in my head that was he was like, "Is there any Mexicans in the crowd?" Someone raised their hands. He's like, "Fuck you," and then it goes on. I thought that was funny.
That was funny. Yeah. I watched the first part of it. He like had someone come up on stage and then immediately just told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of that, so I just turned it off.
And the thing is, like, it kind of goes back to like the whole Jeselnick thing of kind of having to shit on what's popular to stay relevant in a way, and like especially for Tim Heidecker,
Yeah.
who like,
Yeah, this is something I want to get your opinion on. What do you think about Tim Heidecker?
I mean, I really liked him as a kid. I mean, obviously
Sure.
he's funny, but I feel like as you get older, Like, I mean, obviously, you know the whole thing about him and Sam Hyde.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was wondering.
I feel like he had something to do with it, or at least something. I mean, I always said that I think $1 Million Extreme should have been like the next big comedy group, and like them getting canceled set comedy back a little bit. And I didn't even really like their show on Adult Swim. I kind of liked it, and then I fell in love with all their YouTube shit because their YouTube shit was extremely smart, alternative, weird, and like very Adult Swimmy. But yeah, they should have. I don't think they should have been canceled.
Sure.
That show, even the show had some really great fucking moments. Their director is really good too, Andrew Ruse. I don't know if you've paid attention to some of the stuff he worked on the show with them. Fucking amazing. But when it comes to Tim Heidecker, I don't like people that have to shit on what's hot to stay relevant. But I guess like we all kind of talk shit. Like that's what comedians do, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like Tim kind of has to do that, especially because Sam Hyde is getting so popular and that type of comedy is getting so popular that no one really wants to watch a 30-year-old man be whimsical or a 40-year-old man be whimsical.
Playing in a park. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think, and even when it comes to some stand-ups in Detroit, you know, I'm like, you guys are too whimsical. You guys aren't cute and funny. No one is as funny as they think they are.
Too whimsical?
Sure.
What do you mean by too whimsical?
Too whimsical is talking about.
That was his rapper name when he was a rapper.
It does number 2. And then,
Why does that fit for some reason too?
It works.
but I know what you mean about women.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like for instance,
But
there's
just
certain
lighthearted and
comedians
fancy
that, like,
free.
They're
Weird.
it's like comedy for a teenager and they're like 30 years old, I would say.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut this out.
Like
but
Impractical Jokers.
Like talking about your mom's mashed potatoes. Like there's certain jokes about how you just love your mom's mashed potatoes. It's like, bro, you're 30 fucking years old. Do you have opinions?
I don't think
anything?
that's
Hey, a lot of millennials have to live at home, okay?
That's what
Just
I'm saying.
Be
but, like,
nice.
but there's certain that's kind
I
of where
get
I'm
it.
going.
No,
to. And there's
just-
other comedians
Yeah.
where like I'm just like the
No,
comedians will be
and
10
it's
years in
weird.
the game and have like a fucking their whole thing will be like I'll see them at certain different places and their main stuff is like this. I'm like 10 years to write a joke about
Mediocre.
Yeah.
food or something.
I'm going to cut the names, but anyways, we're back in the episode.
Yeah, we're back.
Back on the episode.
We all had to
But-
pee.
Yeah.
Tim
Same.
Heidecker.
we all
I
held
think that
hands.
Tim and Eric's show. I wouldn't consider that whimsy. I think that's like very experimental and like kind of like what MDE like
Yes.
I could like MDE is like the next evolution of like
Yes.
Tim and Eric.
Yes, because it's
It
an
was
adults.
MDE.
$1 Million
it was-
Sam Hyde.
What was
sketch
what was the one that was Michael Ian Black and all those other guys? That show.
I know what you're talking about.
That
I can't
one's the
remember.
more like in my head when you say like whimsical comedy of just being weird and like silly.
Yeah.
What the hell is their show called? Doesn't matter. Whatever. But that's in my head.
Yeah.
But
So-
Tim and Eric gets weird.
Well,
yeah.
here's the one thing I will say.
Uh-huh.
So I can say I don't want to watch a 30 or 40-year-old man be whimsical, but Tim Robinson and I Think You Should Leave does it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
See,
so-
but that's like being extra weird.
Yes, but he does it in a way where it's like the best original sketch show
Yeah.
I've seen it in a while.
Sure.
Like,
And
in a
shout out a
while.
local Detroit made
Yeah,
comedy
like,
hero.
Detroit made.
He
Yeah.
a lot of his sketches though are
He's
like
probably been in that
serious.
bathroom a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there's an episode of Detroiters that takes place at Planet Ant.
Does it?
Yeah.
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 But he like a lot of his sketches are written like very serious, and then it takes a turn, and then
Yeah.
it takes like weird little
Yeah,
turns,
I like
or
that.
it's over the top to where
Right.
it's not like
Yeah.
you know. And I guess maybe a whimsical sketch is a little bit different.
They'll
than what-
surprise you. I like how they'll surprise
Yeah.
you on his
Yeah,
stuff.
like
The
that.
thing-
Her show's so good. That
Yeah.
is so fucking.
The thing with Tim and Eric is like I don't want to do it, but they went woke or whatever it is, and now it's like we can't stand by like a lot of the shit that we did in the past, and a lot of like the comedians who are like
Why?
too
Like
edgy.
that's like a tell or somebody being like, "Oh, that's special. I don't stand by anything I said." What? You did it. Like
Yeah.
the time was different. You could do it then.
Yeah.
The time was different.
Blackface was tasteful.
You
in certain
apply
situations.
yourself to the time and try to fit within that. But the cancel culture shit of how you're saying you think he
Shit.
yeah
was responsible
Well, I think
for getting
they're
that
just
canceled.
Scared. I I think that's what it is. And then
Yeah.
now Tim Heidecker's
Why?
been doing it for so long. He has to be that guy now.
Yeah, and that's
I-
annoying to me.
Yeah.
That's annoying to me. That's the Jeselnick shit. Is like
Yeah.
you're a comic that was an abrasive, like purposely offensive comic, and then you're gonna try and cancel other people for.
And I've seen him say before, like, I don't
Like-
want to do political comedy. I don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah.
People shouldn't know my politics. And now he's like,
now he
making it all
won't shut up
like,
about
politics.
it. Yeah, it's
Pretty
just
gay.
annoying to me when comics will do
Pretty
that or
fucking
try to bury
gay.
someone else. Like, you're a comic. Why are you going to try to bury another comic?
Which we're kind of doing that right now.
No,
well, no, we're not. Because
We're
it's
not
just
famous, so no one
It
cares.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching.
It's funny. There's a Detroit comic who years ago on Twitter, I posted a Lizzo joke, and it was a Lizzo fat joke,
Yeah.
and he actually tried to be the one to tell me that's not funny.
Was it a white guy?
It was a white guy.
Yeah,
It's a white
shut
guy we
the fuck
see-
up.
It was a white guy we see at the Indie all the time.
Yep.
And he's not funny whatsoever. And he,
Name names.
I'm not. Gonna, I'm not. I want this posted, so I'm not even going to
Off
name
air.
names because
He doesn't
knows.
watch. He doesn't.
Yeah, but he knows, and like he tried to go after me and like say that's not funny, and he's the only person really on Twitter that I actually like went after because I was like, fuck that, you're not going to do that, you know. And now,
Yeah.
if I do well at the Indie, like he gives me a fist bump, and it's so weird. Like you know, I never give him a fist bump though.
Really?
So,
Yeah, fuck that.
yeah, you know,
Wait, can we cut it if you say who it is?
we can talk after.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
He
just
looks
have
like
beef.
you with one of those weird old man hats. Honestly, I don't care because at that point, if you're going to try to make a name for yourself trying to like go after me, you know what I'm saying? I don't really give a shit.
I think I might.
People that are, it just kills me when comics will try to bury other comics unless they did something absolutely egregious. Who fucking cares?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Who fucking cares? If you don't like it, just don't
If it's a bad
look
joke,
at
it's
it.
a bad joke.
Look at how many people.
Yeah.
Oh, there's actual like rapists and molesters and different shit in the scene. They won't say shit about that or like protect any victims or anything, but they'll fucking literally like go after you for a Lizzo is fat joke. Lizzo's fucking fat.
Yeah.
Sorry, like she's not fat now. She's lost a bunch of weight, whatever. But then
on
she
the
gets
O.
in trouble about fucking shoving bananas in pussies or some shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like.
Yeah.
It just kills me the shit people stand on their high horse
That one guy
about.
end up getting canceled.
I don't know.
Anyways, what should we talk? I don't know. Do we want to just end it?
What else? Well, no,
It's
no, no.
been an hour.
What else do we talk about? We
anything
talked
else
about
on
you going to
anybody's
Austin. We
minds?
talked about whimsical comedy. We talked about
comedy.
But I'm so fucking tired, you guys.
All right, let's just end it.
keeping. We can cut it.
Yeah.
What's your
We're
guys'
good.
opinions on BLM? Black Lives Matter.
We're
Oh,
doing
I
that,
thought you were
like,
talking about a BLT. I was
it's
like,
been
dude, I'm
5
down.
years, or is this
Bacon,
still going on?
Dude, it's still going
bacon, lettuce, mutton, dude. I'm down.
Yeah, ooh, that sounds fantastic.
Wouldn't a mutton little
It's
MLT?
still
Thoughts
going
on
on.
BLM?
How do you guys feel about
Well-
race-based nationalism?
Well, it depends. You know,
I mean, it's
depends
happening.
what you mean by BLM.
Probably on an uptick during
Yeah, it depends what you
2025.
What are your guys' opinions on like Richard Spencer and Jared Taylor?
I was
I don't
actually.
know who those.
Richard
I-
Spencer
so
got
I-
punched in the face. It was so good.
Okay,
I-
so you guys don't. Do you know who that is?
So here's the thing. I wasn't a fan of Richard Spencer's politics or his opinions, but I was just a fan of watching him because I found him very fascinating.
Is it
I find the
creature?
idea of white
It's like
supremacy.
watching Ben Shapiro or somebody.
No,
Not even that.
It's
Not
more.
even that.
It's more.
It's more. He's like in.
Yes,
In it.
he's almost a character himself.
He
and
seems
it's-
like such a cool, chill guy,
Hmm.
but then he wants every person of color who's not like a WASP to not be in the country.
basically, yeah, or at least be segregated.
Yeah.
Segregated to the point.
You're out. You're out.
Yeah, I'm out too.
You're out.
So that's why I'm not a fan of the guy.
I watched a couple different documentaries on him and like about him and the alt right, and I wanted to make a sketch where it was a white nationalist Chili's commercial, where it was Chili's was going to be the restaurant of white nationalism, and I
mean,
was
it
gonna play
kinda
Richard
already is.
Spencer, and
play Richard
but
Spencer.
like you said, he's so chill. So they, oh god, in the documentary because he says he's not a Nazi, and they caught him doing Sig Heil.
yeah,
Oh God, what is Sig Heil translated? Can we get that real fast?
Jamie,
What is Sig Heil translated to?
But they
Hail victory. Yes, so it's Hail victory.
Okay.
So he won't say Sig Hail. He'll say Hail Victory. And there's a scene of him at the Charlottesville like rally
he's a
before it gets all
loophole.
fucked up. And then in the morning, he's walking around. He's got bourbon in his glass, and he's literally walking around. And he's going, "Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Yo.
Hail Victory!" And to me, that is the funniest fucking thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen, dude.
The casualness of it is fucking
He's pouring
bizarre.
himself bourbon in a glass like it's a tailgate, and he's like, "Oh, the old Richard's coming out," and I'm like, "Dude, this
What?
is." To me, it's
Those people circle back on themselves into like a caricature.
Yeah.
That's what's the
Sounds
most
like it.
insane
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
or like
right.
any of those fucking weirdos like Alex Jones or somebody like that, where it's like somebody who's just a fucking clown. Like they're not,
a
yeah.
character that they play.
Yeah, they're not real.
Yeah, but I will say those people in ways they are very smart, and that's what makes them dangerous. Because all those people come from academia, like major academics,
Yeah.
the world.
Well, that doesn't make
Also,
you smart.
I just want to clarify. I don't agree with Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
I just think he's a fascinating character.
He's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
He voted for Kamala.
Yeah, that's the
he
thing
was,
is
he
he's
was he was advocating for Kamala.
he
weeks up until the
identifies
election.
as
Yeah.
an extreme leftist.
Well, no, because people don't understand that there are neo-Nazis in Ukraine, and that is
Yeah.
a big neo-Nazi issue, that we are sending money to neo-Nazis. So far-wing white Nazis want to keep sending money to Ukraine because we're sending money to Baton or whatever they're called, Aziz Baton. You know what I'm talking You know.
I
So then
have
they're
no idea.
anti-Russia.
It's a whole
Trump
mess.
is
Yeah, no,
pro-Russia.
because Eastern Europe has had Nazi problems ever since. They've all had neo-Nazi
Yeah, so
problems.
is Brazil.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That's because that's where the Nazis went.
I, tease.
They went everywhere. They went everywhere.
They
went
scattered
here.
to the four winds.
Yeah.
Did you hear about? I actually, heard that Adolf Hitler died in Argentina.
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Yeah, allegedly.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Here's something that is a
Had a couple of kids. Wouldn't it be crazy to be Hitler's kid?
that would be. There was a
He has 2 daughters apparently.
Pakistani B movie from the 80s called Hitlar, but it's spelled Hitlar, and it's about Hitler's Pakistani son who's like a superhero and fights crime in
You think if
Pakistan.
that dude was how they prophesize it, that they would want him out there plowing and making more baby Hitlers?
Yeah, but he was
Yeah,
gay,
wouldn't
man.
you think? Yeah, allegedly.
There was
Hitler was gay. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
in the
that was the self-hating gay Jew.
I guess
That's the whole thing.
the worst.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah, Ava
1980s.
Braun was a cover. Go ahead.
1980s, there was a sitcom in British
Yeah.
television called "Hail Honey, I'm Home," and it was
Yo.
it was Hitler and Ava Braun living in modern day London, and their neighbors were Jewish people, and it got canceled after 3
Oh, I'm
episodes.
sure.
But you can find the pilot on YouTube.
That is.
Oh my god.
That's offensive before offensive existed. Offensive only.
That was cancelable
came into
before
being
cancel
in,
culture
the
was
late 90s was the first time someone got offended,
Yeah,
and they still
Aw.
got canceled.
When Ellen was gay.
everything
well, Andrew
changed
Dice
when
Clay, man.
There's just-
Mad, Mothers Against Drunk Driving came. Everything changed.
How do you guys feel about Andrew Dice Clay?
I
Oh,
don't really care.
he's
I don't
fine.
really have
Whatever.
any feelings towards Andrew
Whatever.
Dice Clay.
I love
I get
his.
it.
What are your
I love
feelings
his.
about Harriet Tubman?
Yeah,
So here's the thing about
Great athlete.
Alex Jones and
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk
yeah.
is from what I'm seeing online, they're agents of a certain country that they're very
Alex Jones is too.
Double agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because Nick Fuentes was on Alex Jones's show and they were arguing about why we should be supporting a different country that's not America, and Alex Jones was all for it, but Nick Fuentes, which also I disagree with Nick Fuentes on his, what he says,
Make sure you have an extreme close up when you do those.
Yeah,
but he's not wrong about why are we supporting countries that we're getting no benefits of supporting. That's all I'm going to say.
I would say. What I say is, I think Israel. If World War
Whoa,
III,
whoa,
happened,
what are you talking about, dude? I don't know. What you're,
We're talking about
talking about?
Australia.
Yeah, dude.
Israel.
if World War III happened tomorrow, Australia would
probably
be
going
our
to.
number one ally.
Would they?
Yes, in terms
Why?
of military, in terms of base, in terms of military
I
power
think you
and
have it
spending.
backwards. I think Australia is getting into shit in order to instigate World War III.
Yes, but I'm just saying, if a World War III did happen, France and Britain, Canada, they're all.
I think
pussies
you
and they
guys
don't
mean
have it.
when World War III happened.
That's what I'm saying. And yeah, I think it eventually
Yeah.
will happen. If not, I mean, you guys pay attention to what's happening in India and Pakistan.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was a terror.
Yeah, no, there's like nuclear
Yeah, no,
attack.
they're getting into war. They're about to
Yeah.
start war. There was a
I
bombing.
didn't
last
know that
night.
was going on.
Yeah, there was a terrorist attack in India that killed like 26 people, and now India just bombed them. And I watched a video of a bunch of like people on mopeds watching a bombing happen, and it was pretty crazy.
My friend was at the airport in Australia, and they got
There's
hit
quite
by
a few
oh, really?
shit.
while he was there. Yeah.
in the airport.
Yeah,
Oh man,
You okay?
Dame kangaroo.
he is okay. Yes, he's
what the fuck,
yes, fucking kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Always jumping
man?
around.
Marsupials, non-placental animals will fuck you up, dude.
Crazy,
It's weird,
crazy times.
weird.
So yeah.
But it's all orchestrated by the bankers.
Yeah.
Cut that out.
I think it's
No, it's
De
true.
Beers and
What's that?
De Beers and the diamond industry. I'm gonna start that. We should get that
I don't
going.
know about that.
What?
We should get that.
I don't know
going.
about De Beers.
Talk about gatekeepers, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get into that. Because I have some serious thoughts about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sounds pretty serious.
That it's about to end it. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
All right. Ken, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, plug some
Just
stuff.
follow me on Seven Dads TV.
It is funny. You guys should watch it. I like them.
It's one of the only podcasts I watch now.
Yeah.
When it comes out. 'Cause
Yeah,
It barely
ever-
comes out.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything?
No.
B-Boys, number one. Out of the number one Metro Trade Comedy Podcast, Big Neil.